The Midnight Caller. The night shift at Hollow Creek General Hospital was usually uneventful. Long hours, fluorescent lights that buzzed, the occasional car crash or overdose, but mostly it was quiet. Quiet enough for Nurse Andrea Wells to hear the ticking of the old wall clock above the nurse's station, and quiet enough to notice when that ticking stopped. It was the first week of October, a Monday, and the air outside had started to crisp. Inside the hospital, however, it remained sterile and timeless, like a place that never aged. At 2:59 a.m., Andrea was checking IV drips in room 12, where an elderly woman named Mrs. Dalton had recently suffered a mild stroke. Andrea adjusted the saline bag, glanced at her watch, and noted how close it was to the end of her hourly rounds. Then the call came. The hospital landline at the nurse's station rang sharply, 3 long, shrill tones. Andrea walked back, expecting the usual, a patient's family or an emergency transfer. She picked up. Silence. "Hello?" She listened. Nothing. Then the faintest sound, breathing, soft and deliberate, close, intimate, no background noise, no static, just slow, shallow breaths. Andrea frowned. "This is Hollow Creek General. Can I help you?" More silence, and then the line clicked. She didn't think much of it at first. Crank calls weren't exactly rare, especially this close to Halloween. Kids dared each other to prank the hospital all the time. But something about that breathing chilled her. It wasn't a kid trying to be funny. It sounded older, intentional. That night she mentioned it briefly to Greg, the overnight security guard. He shrugged. "Might be the phone lines. Storm messed with the wiring last week." Andrea accepted that, sort of, until the next night. 2:59 a.m. She was in room 7 this time, checking on a man recovering from abdominal surgery. The hospital phone rang again, 3 long tones. Andrea paused, walked slowly back to the desk. She picked up. "Hello?" Again. Breathing, a little louder this time. No words, no number on the caller ID. She waited. "Who is this?" Nothing. The line disconnected after exactly 13 seconds. Andrea stared at the handset for a while. The call hadn't come through the mainline switchboard. It was direct. That shouldn't have been possible. The hospital technician checked the call log the next morning. No record of an incoming call at 3 a.m. On Wednesday, the call came again. This time, Nurse Calvin, young, cocky, and halfway through a protein bar, picked up. Andrea watched from across the hallway. Calvin's expression changed within seconds. His cockiness drained away. He didn't say anything, just held the phone, listening. His face turned pale. When the line clicked off, he slowly put the handset down and didn't say a word. Later, he claimed it was probably a tech error. But he didn't sleep during the day shift like usual. He kept checking the hallway, kept glancing at the clock. Thursday, 3:03 a.m. The call came again. This time, nobody answered it. The phone rang for a full 60 seconds, then stopped. That same night, Calvin didn't show up for his shift. Andrea called him, texted, no response. She figured he overslept. Friday morning, they found his car by the lake. Driver's side door open, keys still in the ignition. No sign of Calvin. The police were called. Cameras checked. There was nothing on the hospital's exterior feeds between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., as if the system had gone offline, though the recording log showed no interruption. Andrea started feeling it, the deep, crawling fear that seeps into your bones and doesn't leave. Saturday, she didn't want to go to work. She told herself it was all a coincidence, that people vanished for lots of reasons, that the calls meant nothing. At 2:45 a.m., Andrea started to cry, quietly, in the staff bathroom. At 2:59, she steadied herself. She was tired of being scared. She walked to the nurse's station, sat beside the phone, and waited. 3 o'clock, 3:01, 3:02, 3:03 a.m. The phone rang. 3 long tones. She answered. Nothing. Then, breathing. Closer than ever. Raspy. Like it was inside her ear. Andrea whispered, "What do you want?" This time, a voice responded. It wasn't human. Low, gravelly. Not distorted, just wrong. It said her full name. Andrea Lynn Wells. She froze. The voice continued. You will be next. Then a date. October 14. And then a single word. Soon. Andrea didn't sleep for the next 3 nights. She quit her job, told the chief administrator that she was having a mental breakdown. No one argued. On October 14, she locked herself in her apartment, covered the mirrors, turned off all lights, unplugged her cell phone, disconnected the internet. No calls, no clocks, no reflections. She waited. 3:03 a.m. arrived and passed. Nothing happened. She laughed, nervous, relieved, almost giddy. She stood up, walked toward the kitchen. Her landline rang. She had forgotten it was plugged in. 3 long tones. She picked up. Silence. Then the voice again. You can't run, Andrea. There was a knock at the door. To be continued.